Let us hear first the highlights of survey on farmer sustainability and resilience. This will be presented by Ms. Kueh Chen, the Executive Director of Customer Insights of Kynetec. Ms. Chen has been involved in agricultural market research for more than 15 years, with a focus on Asia-Pacific region. She has conducted studies related to crop protection, seeds, fertilizer, other farm input, animal health, pet care, agricultural machinery, and food chain. Ms. Chen currently leads the Customer Insights team in their region. She is well versed with different approaches and methodologies commonly used in market research. So this includes experience in tracking studies. Her current focus is on creating the best design, methodological solutions, analysis on critical studies on behalf of her clients. She manages a team of 15 experienced market research professionals from Australia, China, Malaysia, and India. So with this, let us please welcome Ms. Ai Chen.
So let me start then, unless some of you cannot see my screen. So first and foremost, I want to thank CropLife Asia for inviting me to participate in this program. This is a study that we conducted on behalf of CropLife, during the height of the pandemic to some extent, and the whole study is just to really understand a lot of the challenges that farmer is facing and some of the opportunity that they will realize in the recent month, including some of the concerns about pandemic. So I'm going to just share with you some of the background. So the whole back premise was the fact that in ASEAN particularly, farmer constantly face challenges in terms of the crop production. The challenges are multiple, and that would include, but not limited to, lack of resources, low technology, lack of knowledge, lack of accessibility to, new technology, and so on and so forth, right? But because of the pandemic that is actually hitting every country in the world, it actually further enhanced some of the challenges that these farmers are facing, and the expectation is that could potentially have a negative growth limitation for millions of farmers. So this study is to really understand and investigate the different challenges that farmers is facing, including how much of the impact of
Ai Chen, sorry. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Can you please come closer to the microphone?
Sure,
Yep,
sorry.
so that we can hear you.
Yes. So this study is actually to really understand the different challenges that farmer is facing, including the impact of COVID-19. In addition to understand the various challenges, we also wanted to capture, because of these challenges, what are some of the possible changes in practices and behavior that they are taking now or would like to take in the future, right? So some of it could be adopting new technology, considering more advanced solutions like biotechnology, seeds, and so on and so forth, right? To maintain their sustainability and resilience in the farm as a farmer. So we undertake this study with in 4 countries.
Ms. Ai Chen, sorry. Sorry, Mimi here again. Can we try one more?
Sure. Let me expand my sound and see whether this is improving. So Mimi, are you hearing it better now?
Yes. Can you please make it louder?
This is already at maximum, unfortunately. I will speak very close to
or perhaps can you try moving in the middle?
Actually, I'm trying to move closer to the computer now.
Okay, let's try.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, no problem. So let me just try. Right, so we did this study across 4 countries in ASEAN, namely Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia. So in all these countries, we did about, we talked to about 130 farmers on average. So that gives us about 525 farmers that we talked to across all these 4 countries. The study, the data was captured pretty recent, which is in February and March 2021, so just in Q1 2021. And we used a various approach in terms of collecting data. Some of it, unfortunately, would have to be face-to-face, but we also have telephonic in some countries. I wanted to now share with you highlights the finding across the 4 countries that we do. So across the next 7 to 8 minutes or so, what I'm going to do is to share with you in each of the countries, what are some of the challenges that farmers have highlighted to us? What are some of the opportunity and growth area that foresee will be able to help them to be more sustainable and resilient as a farmer? And last but not least is also to try to understand what kind of assistance they have received because of the pandemic of COVID-19. So we start off with Thailand. In Thailand, we talk to both rice, corn, and fruit farmers. So 3 sub-segments of farmers in Thailand. And according to the Thai farmers, the top 3 challenges that they face is the lack of access to capital, funds, and financing. So basically, the input, the financial for crop production. So they are facing challenges of lack of access to capital, fund, and financing. In addition to that, they also face substantial challenges in labor. So in our data, we have seen that 2/3 of farmers actually complain about the increase of labor costs. The other 2/3 and then actually says the changes of climate is either because of flood, too much water, drought, too little water, is also making their life as a farmer a lot more difficult. One of the key aspects that we want to try to understand within the study is that, in terms of gender inequality, especially in the farming community, we have substantial number of female farmers participate in our survey in Thailand. About 50% of them is actually female farmers. And out of these female farmers, more than 4 in 5 of them says that they experience inequality in farming. And some of the inequality they experience is actually lack of access to capital, financing, or resources. Okay. So on the downside, these are the challenges, but farmers are always very resilient. They are very optimistic. So in that sense, when you look at the opportunity and growth, some of the major opportunity and growth is actually in mechanization. So 50% of them actually plan to adopt mechanization or automation. Similarly, 50% of them will adopt GM or biotech crop. So Thailand, it's not alien or new to biotechnology crop, but so you can see that the adoption and the willingness to adopt biotechnology crop in Thailand is very, very high. More than 1/3 of them say also they would actually adopt digitalization. And in terms of which aspect of digitalization, that would be related to farming services app and GPS guidance technology. Now, the question is that, are farmers in Thailand getting sufficient support? Almost 9 out of 10 of them says that they receive government aids in terms of COVID-19. And the type of ads they receive is mainly related to extension of repayment. They also say to us that the impact of COVID-19 is actually below average to their farming operation, which means that what they do on a day-to-day basis is not substantially impacted because of the pandemic or COVID-19. So the next one I'd like to do is to move on to Indonesia. Within Indonesia, we cover also some of the key crops, which is rice, corn, and fruits. And Indonesia, I also want to share with you the 3 key aspects of our finding. Lack of access to capital, funding, and financing is still top of their mind, very similar to what you have seen earlier on in Thailand. But the other aspect, it's very, very relevant for Indonesia is that almost also 2/3 of them actually say that climate change, whether it's flood or drought, is a major challenge for them in farming. We have less number of female farmers in Indonesia that participate in the sample, just roughly about 30 of them. but they too actually says that they experience gender inequality in farming, especially related to the opportunity for training and the opportunity for getting funds to run their farm efficiently. In Indonesia, the willingness to adopt mechanization is slightly lower compared to Thailand, but not substantially. But you can see that it also has an overwhelming acceptance to biotechnology crops. So, 3 out of 5 farmers says that they would consider adopting GM or biotech crop. And within that, again, just about, slightly less than 1 in 5 would actually consider digitalization, right? And then within the digitalization, the 2 aspects they are most interested in will be the GPS and in terms of soil analysis sensor. Again, a very high percentage, almost 9 out of 10 of them actually does receive some kind of support from the government because of the pandemic. And most of the support received are related to farm subsidies. Unlike Thailand, the impact of pandemic has a bigger, pain point for the Indonesian farmer because they actually rated that the impact of COVID-19 is somewhat moderate, impact to their farm operation and personal life. Now, if we look at Philippines, we have again, in Philippines, one of the major differences apart from rice and corn, we did not cover fruits, but we cover vegetable. So in Philippines, the 2 main challenges farmers face in terms of farming is actually climate change. So almost 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 actually says that they experience that challenge. And similarly, they also experience increase of pest infestation, whether it's insects or disease or weed, right? In terms of opportunity and growth, very high percentage, 3 out of 5 of them actually adopt mechanization and automation. And not surprisingly, 4 out of 10 of them will be adopting or has already adopted GM or biotech crop. Okay? The acceptance of digitalization is also slightly lower. So 1 in 4 of them would consider some kind of digitalization, may it be in terms of soil analysis, sensor or satellite imaging. Okay. Similarly, with the counterparts in other countries in ASEAN, 9 out of them again do receive some kind of aids from the government, particularly related to farm subsidies. Similarly, like farmer in Thailand, the impact of COVID-19 or the negative impact of COVID-19 is somewhat, below average to a Filipino, farm operation. And for the last country, which is Vietnam, in Vietnam, we cover similar crops like Philippines, which is rice, corn, and vegetable. And within Vietnam, the 2 main challenges they are facing is in terms of lack of access to capital, fund, and financing. So about 2/3 of them is actually experiencing that, and 70% of them actually noted that climate change, whether it's flood or drought, is a major pain point for them. We also have substantial number of female farmers in Vietnam, about 45% of our sample, which means it's more than 50 people actually female farmer, and 3 out of 5, actually says that they experience inequality in farming. In terms of opportunity and growth, 2/3 say that they will adopt mechanization and automation. More than 2/3 says that they are willing to adopt GM or biotech crop, and 2 in 5 actually says they will adopt digitalization, particularly related to satellite imaging, farm service application, and GPS guidance. We found out that in Vietnam, only 45% of farmers actually does receive some kind of aids from the government related to COVID-19, and it's more in the form of extension of repayment. The negative impact of COVID-19 is also rated to be somewhat average to farm operation and personal life to a Vietnamese farmers. So I want to now just stop my presentation because I have, in a way, hopefully share with you something interesting. And it's an enlightening to you that how what are some of the key challenges that they are facing, what are some of the growth and opportunities they foresee themselves in the future, and how serious is the issue of COVID-19 impacting farmers' personal life and also their farm operation. Thank you.